Cardinals release wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins after 3 seasons. What do you think is going on with that?
They couldn't get it done. They couldn't get a deal done. This hurts the Cardinals. Period. Yesterday. I did a quick tweet and then a quick video that I posted on our site, just because this is a big deal. Because we're here in the Phoenix area. DeAndre is a top receiver. You know, he did a podcast recently and he pretty much said that there's 31 other quarterbacks I'd rather play for, or 31 quarterbacks I wouldn't mind playing for. That's the whole NFL.
So you lost respect for Kyler Murray.
There's a lot of rumbles that there's a lot of players that don't respect Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. And there's a scenario where the Cardinals could move off of Kyler Murray.
What do you think it is?
If they finish as bad as they're going to this year, and they have the number 1 pick, and Caleb Williams is there, that quarterback from USC, there's a scenario where they could have the 1st and 2nd pick in the draft because they have Houston's pick, right? They can go get Marvin Harrison Jr. as a wide receiver, and they can go get Williams out of USC. Right there, you have it kind of like Cincinnati has with their quarterback and their young receiver. You know, the Cardinals could have that, and I think they would look in the mirror and say, you know what, let's get rid of Murray. We've had plenty of seasons to see what he can do. Let's cut him off.
What do you do with the contract?
You have to eat it.
Just eat it?
You have to eat it.
Dude, the Cardinals eat so much, though. I think they're done paying off one of the coaches, if not still paying off. They still paying off Cliff Kingsbury. Do they have to pay off DeAndre Hopkins still on his contract?
I'm not sure how that works. I know it's a lot of dead space. There's some guarantee money.
They're absorbing a lot of money right now. Players and coaches not available on that team. They're out somewhere else.
I think they paid the coach 3 more years.
Cliff Kingsbury? Yeah, because he just signed on a 4-year contract. That first year on that contract, they fired him, so he has 3 more years.
Which is crazy to me.
3 years of every 2 weeks, you get a direct deposit of a fat check.
I think that goes away if he signs with another team, though.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
I know it's guaranteed. That's the only guaranteed contract in the NFL.
He signed for another team
I think USC is a special advisor. I don't know.
Something like that, right?
Something where he doesn't
Someone in the comments will tell us, but I know he signed up with a college team.
Yeah. I don't know if he wants to coach NFL anymore. You know, college players have to listen to you because their scholarship and playing time. You know, if they're not playing, they're not going to get scouted and their stats aren't going to go up. In the NFL, you have to play them because the GM's telling you, play this guy. The owner paid a lot of money. You're going to have your prima donnas, and that's probably what he had with Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of coaches, how do you feel about their next head coach for the Arizona Cardinals?
Well,
Jonathan Gannon.
I don't know too much about him, but you told me something about he's ranked dead last or something.
Pull it up.
Now, if he's ranked dead last, maybe it's because he's no experience. And how are they grading these coaches? Because right there, that tells me 0-17, baby.
Yep, Arizona Cardinals Jonathan Gannon ranked last in 2023 NFL head coach ranking. I mean, he just came from Philadelphia Eagles as their defensive coordinator. I mean, he has a defensive mindset versus we just had an offensive mindset, right? So maybe someone who just came from a championship team has a defensive mindset, maybe that's the direction we need to go. And then maybe find a really good offensive coordinator for Kyler Murray. This way the head coach can just focus on the team, not try to do 2 jobs at once, head coach and be the offensive coordinator like Cliff Kingsbury was doing. Now you have someone who's more defensively mindset, probably work with the defensive coordinator. I hope he has a defensive coordinator. I have to look through it. I don't know who it would be right now. But offensively, yeah, they have to have an offensive coordinator. Of course, Jonathan Gannon's not going to do it. It's going to be someone, and hopefully he has someone good with him who can work with Kyler Murray. Maybe that was Kyler Murray's problem. Cliff Kingsbury was doing too many things at once, and it wasn't working out. He couldn't just master one thing, either master being a head coach or master being the offensive coordinator, not both at the same time. You're spreading your resources too thin.
Yeah, but I think there a lot goes. I mean, I wasn't the biggest Cliff Kingsbury fan, but I thought he was a good enough coach. I thought the Cardinals' problem was talent. They didn't have enough talent or heart. I don't think Kyler Murray has enough heart. I don't think he's the leader that you need. Your quarterback needs to be loud out there, leading the charge, taking the hits. When he talks on the press conferences and he doesn't say, "Oh, I need to get better," or "I need to do this." He says, "We didn't execute. We didn't do that." A lot of the good quarterbacks will tell you, "Yeah, I just wasn't on my game today. I need to get better."
Before he got his max contract, they lost, not just lost, but they got blown out on the first round of the playoffs. I don't think you're in a position where you should be asking for a max contract. So I think there's a little bit of the Cardinals management saying, dude, you're not really progressing right now. We need to be deep in the playoffs as a playoff team. But of course they're not. They clearly didn't make it to the playoffs last year. They're just falling apart. And you have Kyler Murray, who's super rich now. It's a max contract. I mean, if you know your team is not going to be good enough to get to the playoffs and you have a max contract, like how much heart do you really need to put in? Because you're just like, I got paid. I don't care what happens.
He's crushing it right now in Call of Duty, from what I hear. But that's pretty much it. I don't know. Kyler, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I just think it's, if he doesn't do well coming back from his injury, it might be time to move on. You don't have time. We don't have that luxury. Maybe this coach will tell the owners, like, dude, this guy doesn't get it. He's not a leader. He's not leading by example. I could be wrong, and I hope I am. Again, I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan, but I would love to see him turn it around. Save some money. Why would you want to lose a quarterback? Maybe we just need to get more talent. We had the receivers. We had Zach Ertz, and he got hurt. So, it's just it's overwhelming when you see talent get hurt and then you blame it on the talent. It should be next man up, right? The next man up should be just as good or ready to go, right? So I don't know at the end of the day where we go and whose fault is what. Maybe it's time for a rebuild. We're pretty much there.
We're there in a rebuild for sure. It's just,
but unload everyone and do a true rebuild. If we finish, if the Cardinals finish 0-17, everyone's fired. Everyone's gone because that's the worst record in NFL history.
It doesn't even have to be 0-17. It could be as bad as 4-13, right?
Well,
to get fired, everyone fired.
Most of the people fired. I mean, I'm talking players. I think you keep the coaches because the coaches can say, "Hey, look at the talent I had. Look at the drama we had in the locker room. Look, there's a lot of things that can happen, and unless you just say screw it, everyone's gone, coaches, everyone. Let's just go get talent. But then you're in a rebuild for a couple of years because you have all that dead money you have to pay off for a couple of years. So maybe you just sit back and you go a couple of seasons where you have high draft picks. 3 years down the road, you say it's time to go. People are going to go to games. Maybe you just lower your prices and expectations. And we've had seasons here where the Cardinals sucked. And we might be going through that phase again.
Same old Cardinals.
Boy, we thought it was different for a minute and got excited, and they looked really good first couple of years Kyler was here. There were some awesome wins. But now we're at the point where it's going to be the same old Cardinals.
So I know I've been super critical with Kyler Murray. I mean, it's just as a fan's perspective. I hope he turns it around. I hope something sparks a desire to win championships. Right now, I don't see it, but I could be totally wrong, of course. I could be totally wrong.
I'm worried about Budda Baker wanting to leave.
Well, that's the problem. When you have like these talents on the team saying, I want to leave, that doesn't look good, too.
There's something wrong in the locker room. They're just tired of losing, and they're tired of, like, I know Budda Baker's 100%.
He's talented.
His energy is off the charts. Even watching the HBO thing with the Cardinals, like, he is one of my favorite players. After watching that, he is legit. All heart.
He's all heart. Exactly what you said. All heart.
He's at the level where, like, if you're not at my level, why are you here? This is our job. This is the only thing we have to do, and you're not doing your job. That's why he wants to leave. There's players on that team. There's people in the locker room that aren't on the same page.
If you don't like it here, go to the XFL or the USFL. This is an NFL. This is like the best of the best where we get paid way more than anyone else.
It's your career. It's your career. Why aren't you? maybe because I don't want to hurt my body because I want to do. I need to figure out what I'm going to do after the NFL. I want to be a commentator. I want to do this. We don't know. People, when you make that kind of money, you're investing your money in other things, and then your mind's on those other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they're doing something, and their football is not their number one priority. They're not training as hard as they should be because they're working on their side hustle.
Could be maybe Kyler Murray has a chip on his shoulder because his contract clause had something about limiting his time playing video games and studying time.
You shouldn't have a chip on your shoulder. You should be like, if you're making that kind of money, you're not playing video games. You're just not.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. Like, wake up. What are you? Some kind of
You get up in the morning, you self-practice, throw the football around, you train a little bit, then you go to the training camp, work out with your boys, you stay in after, go over things.
You're the quarterback. You need to lead by example. Another thing about the Cardinals training facility, I heard they have to pay for their food.
They're the only ones.
They're the only one. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
That is embarrassing, a little bit.
No stipend, nothing. You're like, here you go. Unless you're a player that has it in the contract. But think about it. If you're a guy that's making minimum, which is still a lot, you have to pay for all your meals? Come on.
I mean, it's you get a lot of benefits for being a pro athlete, and that should be one of them. I get it.
Especially at the team facility. They should be... Mm-hmm. How come 31 other teams figured out a way to write it off or do it? How come we're the only team? They'll probably change that because it's embarrassing. Why would you want to? I know it's something small and minute. Someone in the comments can write, get off your high horse and whatever. No, dude, it's like every other team is doing it. It's like, I'm not looking for a freebie for the players. It's just like, you guys don't care about us enough that you're going to make sure we're eating right. Mm-hmm. Right? And you want me to pay for this, and some players probably don't want to pay for it, and like, hey, I'm going to go eat something somewhere else, like Chipotle or something.
Plus, maybe they, put in good nutrition. If the team's paying for the meal, you're only going to serve them good, nutritious food, not junk food that they have to pay out of pocket.
Right.
Thanks for watching our clip. If you want to see more clips like this and you like our views, like the show, click here for some more clips. If you want to hear the whole podcast, watch the whole podcast, click here for the whole podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll get back to you. Thank you, and have a great day.